Hi everybody, Debra Dickinson here. Thank you for being on my channel and welcome to today's Nomad Quick Tip. I'm going to tell you about my Stanley Battery Charger and 3 ways that I get power to my house batteries. When I'm driving, I get power to my house batteries from my Solenoid, and I'm going to tell you more about that at the end of this video, and you have probably seen that on Bob Wells' channel. If you haven't, I will put that link in the video description. And the main way that I get power to my house batteries, which are 3 100 amp hour AGM Lifeline batteries, is through my 4 100 watt Renogy solar panels that are on the roof. But today I'm going to tell you about this wonderful thing, my Stanley Battery Charger, and why it's necessary for fancy free. As you all know, I was on a 2020 epic road trip that has been interrupted by this very unfortunate global pandemic that we're all experiencing on the coronavirus. But even before that, I was like friend hopping and family hopping, and so I was very fortunate to be able to have a lot of places to plug in. And also, like I shared with you on my video about when I went to I was in West Texas and it got so hot, and I met Rusty 78609 because I went to a fee campground at Falcon Lake State Park and plugged in. Well, the thing about being plugged in with Fancy Free is she doesn't have a rooftop air conditioner. And so what the electricity does for me is it runs my truck fridge, which is both 12 volt or 110. It runs it off of shore power, and I have 5 outlets in Fancy Free that then convert to shore power instead of running off of my solar system. But what it doesn't gain me is cooling, and my lights and my 2 ceiling fans in Fancy Free are still running on 12 volt off of the house batteries and solar power. So what was happening is if it was a cloudy day, or if I get to park in shade, like Fancy Free will be in shade in the afternoons where she's parked now here at my friend's, and then I don't get enough solar to run those fans if I need them, or the lights by the time night rolls around. So what I was needing was a battery charger to use even when I was plugged in that also keeps my batteries at a full capacity, which AGM Lifeline batteries really, all batteries need, but they really need that juice. My friend Chuck got me this Stanley Battery Charger, and it had to be something simple for me to not only be able to hook up, but simple for me to be able to read. And I just love it, and he is really proud of it too. I will put the link to it in my video description, but it is a charger. It goes to my batteries, and then these are in series, so it feeds all 3 of them. It is plugged into my shore power, which I have to switch out when I go from solar to shore power, and I'll show you how I do that. And as you can see right now, my batteries are in float. That has not been happening when I have been on shore power, again, because I usually am running my fans and my internal lights. And I have 5 fans. I have 2 ceiling fans and 5 lights. Okay, so let me see if I can walk you through this and make sure that I understand it as well. Let's turn one of my lights on. So I love these lights, by the way, and I'll also put that link in the video description. But this is my, this is what powers my outlets and everything in Fancy Free. And it's normally plugged into this box, which is making my energy the electricity come from solar power. When I am plugged in, I take it from there and plug it into here like it is now, and it's handily labeled shore power. Green is for my solar, and then you'd think it was reversed, but yellow is for shore power. So I know this goes into both. This is my fridge, and it stays constantly plugged into the shore power because this is what converts it. But the electricity runs off of 12-volt or solar, and so this is what changes that so that it knows what to run from, whether 12-volt or solar, 12-volt or shore power. I mean, right now my refrigerator is running off of shore power. This is the charger, and it is plugged into shore power. Again, this had to be a very simple setup for me. So all I need to know is that the red goes to red. And it's very fortunate that my batteries have nice terminals on them that allow for that easy setup. So I have 4 things that I do when I get to shore power. I take my plug and I go from my 12-volt solar to shore power. When I'm going to hook up my battery charger, my wonderful new battery charger, it goes into the shore power. And you can tell because I had it unplugged a little bit, it's telling me my batteries needed some help because they're in partial shade right now. And then the second thing is I plug, or I guess it's the second thing, the second count on my battery charger, I plug my terminals in. So I plug in my from 12-volt solar to shore power. I plug in my battery charger to the shore power, and I hook up my battery cables red to red. To make all of that work, I have this black cord that is attached to that shore power box, and it stores back up in here. I pull it out and I attach it to my extension cord that then goes to shore power, whether it's at a state park or a campground or a friend's house. And I can shut the door with all of this hooked up. Now what I'm gonna have to do when I'm sleeping in the van is this battery charger will go here in the corner, but it's okay because of the way it is made. It's so sturdy. And when I'm not using it, one of the things that I love is how it stores, and I'm gonna show you that next. I don't know what this thing weighs. You can look at the specs from the link in the video description, but it is so nice and light. I love it. I love this carry handle that it has that makes it easy for me to grab. And it also plugs for the cord, for the power cord. When I'm going to, because remember, when you live in a van or even a very tiny home, every square inch counts. And so this is huge for me, that this power cord just goes up here into, it reminds me of the vacuum cleaners that have their nice little cord storage, but it goes up in here. And then it has this wonderful feature where the alligator clips for the battery terminals, it wraps around here. I hope y'all can see all of this. And then watch this. It wraps around. It has its own little compartment to do that. And then they connect to here and to another terminal on that side. And look at this. That's it. That's all I have to store. And it gives me power when I am plugged into shore power, which I didn't have before and was running out of capacity to run my fans, which is especially important in the heat or anything else that I might need to run off of 12 volt. Now I'm all set. I hope you enjoyed today's quick tip. And if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments below. I might just answer your question on Friday Night Live. Thanks, everybody. Hope that you are doing okay, and I'm sending you great love. We'll see you down the road. Okay, here's your bonus for today. Like I said, if you want to see how my Solenoid system was installed, go to the video description. It is on Bob Wells' channel. And what it does is when I am driving the car engine, the van engine, through this solenoid and the alternator charges my batteries, which is very helpful, especially if I am traveling in wet or cloudy weather. Now what had happened is the solenoid, it was still working, it would still charge my batteries, but I was having to be very careful because it sometimes would get stuck open, which meant that it was draining my car battery, and you never want that to happen. So Chuck installed a brand new solenoid for me. He switched them out. And so if that ever happens to you, be sure that you can just replace like for like, so it's very simple. because if you go watch that video, you will know that it was a very complicated and a long day and took 3 guys to get this installed, and it was very expensive. Bob gave me the original solenoid so that he could make a video, but I had to buy all of the wiring and everything that ran from here through to the back and up. And so I bought all of that and paid for any of the parts and everything, and then I bought everybody a lot of beer and pizza afterwards, and we had a party to celebrate. Then later what happened was that when my battery died, I had to get a battery that had extra tall terminals to accommodate all that. So keep that in mind as well when you're adding something like a solenoid to your system. But I highly recommend it. Fancy Free is all set now. I've got solenoid power to charge while I am driving. I've got my wonderful solar on the roof to keep me going when I'm boondocking. And when I am plugged into shore power, I now have my battery, handy dandy Stanley Battery Charger. Please consider using my Amazon affiliate link to buy any of these products, as well as anything else that you might be buying right now online while we are all isolated at home. And again, I hope that you are doing really well. What you need to do for my Amazon affiliate account, if you're willing, is shop as usual and then go snag the link from my latest video to check out. That's it. It's that simple, and I greatly appreciate it. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Bandit says he doesn't care as long as he gets fed. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Whenever you are working on electrical systems, be sure that all power is turned off. This is my wonderful main kill switch installed by the guys at the 2019 van build. Thank you, Bill, Kenny, and Tim. And this is my secondary plug.